Everybody, this is Andreas here, business coach. So today we are in Chichester. We are visiting Pallant Digital, and I've got both owners here. I've got Simon Batchelar, I've got Ben Davis, and we were talking about them, about their journey. How did it all start? Where did they meet? And how did they create this great company? So thanks for seeing me, guys.
That's right. Welcome.
Hi, Simon. Hi, Ben. So just tell us, please, where did it all start?
Well, we started the business in 2003, so it was a while back before Amazon and before Facebook had got big, and we've been running it ever since, so 14 years this year.
And now you're the same size as Amazon? And
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, we've grown over 14 years, and we've seen a lot of things come and go on the internet, lots of fads and different trends, and we've seen cycles of this being popular and then unpopular and then back to popular again.
Did you start off as a digital agency, website designer? What did you start off with in 2002?
We've always had a focus on the web and digital, but we've always had kind of peripheral services such as photography was one of our main kind of key kind of starting services. I'd just done a degree in photography at that point, and that's something we continue to offer to this day, although it's kind of changed with how photography has progressed over the last 14 years. So this weekend we were shooting living image photos, so these are kind of like animated GIF images that combine a still image with some moving element, and also things like Google Street View photospheres we've been doing for customers that have been really successful. That's
So did your business then over the last 14-15 years morphed into what it is today, obviously, but were there any milestones that you think were critical for your business? Is there anything that stood out?
I think we've had a few along the way. I think when we bought our first computer, that was a huge investment back when Macs were really expensive. Not just expensive, but
really expensive. When was that?
That would have been in 2004. We don't have any credit. We don't have any overdraft.
Free. That's brilliant.
No, we've always said if we can't afford to pay it, we're not going to buy it.
Okay, that's a very good philosophy.
And it's worked for us.
Well, it keeps the cash flow going as well, doesn't it? So,
yeah.
And any other big milestones you can think back?
Probably taking on the first member of staff.
Yeah.
Beyond ourselves.
That was scary.
When was that?
2000. When we moved in here, 2007, 2006 maybe.
Yeah. Well, I guess we kind of transitioned from working with freelancers to kind of then having freelancers that we're bringing in more and more regularly, to the point it was like, right, now's the time to actually
have your own employee. And, was that because they're more loyal, or they are easier to manage from your perspective, or why did you?
I think it was a combination of the kind of, in order to retain talent, offering them a PAYE position was kind of what I think they were looking for at that time, to kind of...
It attracted someone who was looking for a permanent job, rather than someone who was looking for I'll do this for a bit and then
just a stopgap. Okay.
In 2015 we were working all of the hours. All of the hours we could. It was crazy. We were super busy. We had a lot going on. We were scrabbling around trying to find business in every little avenue. We had to
make sure you could feed the machine.
We had a huge overhead every month. It was very stressful, and we just thought we need to do something about this, because it wasn't enjoyable anymore. It wasn't fun. We were running a business of people, and that's not what we did when we set up the business in 2003. We wanted to be making websites, talking to clients, getting in there, trying to help people, get to know people, and all of a sudden there was layers of people between us and those people.
So it took you away from the enjoyable part of your business, which is creating.
But also the bits that we were good at ourselves. You know, I've never been good at HR or complex kind of management
of teams is good, but hiring people to manage people was the stage we were getting to, and it just wasn't us. So we refocused back to what we really enjoy doing, which is just helping people and talking to people and getting involved in people's businesses and watching them and helping them grow.
So how did you realize that it's actually gone too big for you, where you went to the stage where, you know what, this is burning us out more or less?
Yeah.
And you made a conscious decision to say, you know what, let's get back to basics.
Yeah.
And so then you scaled down again.
Yep, we scaled right back.
And you're now in a much happier place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was the hardest business decision we ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Having to let people go and resize, but we saved the business doing it. We wouldn't be here now.
Mm-hmm.
We had a month's worth of money left.
Yeah. Because the machine was eating that much cash, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, with 1 month's money, we turned it round to bankrupt, because remember, we had no credit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Bankrupt or saved it, and we're still here.
And you saved it, obviously turned around, and you saved your health as well.
Absolutely.
You know, nervous breakdown, heart attack, and all the other stuff that comes along with
sure, people that got pipeline.
It's definitely worth focusing on what you want to do and making sure that when you get up in the morning, you're looking forward to going in, not counting through all the problems in your head.
And was that what was happening? Yeah. Always all the things, all the burdens that were carrying on your shoulders, kind of.
And that continues all day, every day, weekends, evenings.
Yeah. Never off.
Never off at all. Yeah.
Whereas now it's manageable because we've got a set of clients who we know on a almost personal level. You know, we deal with them directly. They deal with us directly. And some clients who moved away from us as we were growing because they said, you know what, I used to like working with just you guys, but now there's all the rest of you. It's not the same. It's now we've got a lot more.
You lost a personal touch.
Yeah, and that's what people bought into, I think. And now we're back with that. We're engaging with new clients much better. We're winning the type of business we want to win because we're going after it. So we can choose the type of business we want to do because we haven't got that big machine to feed. We don't have to say yes to everything.
I see. So that's an interesting aspect because obviously you're saying that growing too quickly has a lot of its own dangers in it. So is there any part of advice that you could give to other businesses that might be in a similar scenario where they've grown really quickly? Now they've got a lot of people on the books. There's a lot of stress that comes along with managing people. Is there any bit of advice you could give them? Not just to go back and scale back, but obviously, is there something that you could have done in hindsight that would have made that transition a bit more?
Maybe the speed at which we took decisions, probably in hindsight, rather than getting to the point where we were paying our staff and not paying ourselves, kind of, putting our own kind of financial situations in jeopardy in hindsight, which creates more stress and everything. We should have just taken the hard decision sooner and pivoted earlier.
I see.
Yeah.
In terms of something you could have done would it have been better to do gradually, maybe? To grow gradually rather than ad hoc?
The thing is that with the growth in our company is where you are such a small company, it can only literally be one or two new customers or new projects that necessitate that growth in your team. Which is the situation we had with, we had attracted a few new customers with big projects, and it was very much going from the league we were in to the next league up.
I see.
And it was ultimately it was too much of a stretch, really.
Yeah, I think we had a very quick succession of, we put out some quotes, kind of like, wow, if we win this one, that'd be great. We need a couple of people if we win this one. We need a couple of people if we win this one. And we won all of them.
And
we won all 4.
I see.
So you don't need 2, you need 8.
Yeah.
Now, and we need them next month because we told them we're going to be able to do it by 2 months. So it was, right, let's get going.
So perhaps be more selective and actually say, no, actually we can't do that.
Yeah.
Step away from it rather than taking everything you can. What would you say? What are the 3 biggest things that you would like to maybe quote to people that are listening to this or watching this interview in terms of what is it they need to look at? What's important for you guys? do you think, looking back on your journey?
Yeah, I think one of our recent learnings really has been is that as you end up just continually learning and acquiring knowledge, and then you kind of keep it all very much to yourself. And I think what we've kind of really appreciated in the last couple of years is that you can actually use that knowledge and give it out to the world, to your competitors, to other businesses, and it all be for the kind of the greater good.
If you start teaching stuff, then you really understand actually the deeper meaning of things, because if you're able to teach it, then you really have an ingrained understanding rather than just on the surface scratch a little bit.
The tip I would say is from day one, it sounds really boring, but from day one, get agreements in place. Because
agreements in terms
agreements as in contracts and agreements in place, because we found the type of business who won't sign a contract isn't worth doing business with.
Okay.
And I think the only other thing I would say sort of relating to that is get your payments sorted. Don't let like cash flow and payments, if you can obviously, try and get that nailed down. And
well, cash flow obviously is the lifeblood of the business. If you don't have cash flow, then you have no business.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we've switched ours all over to direct debit payments, and I mean, it's changed. It's revolutionised our business. I can't stress
it brings
it enough.
stability, doesn't it?
Yeah. We've recommended it to 2 or 3 clients, and they are all raving about it. It's just, again, it comes back to that principles thing of if we're willing to put out our time and expertise for you, then you're willing to pay us for that time. It's a kind of mutual respect thing.
So it's almost like a positioning, So this is where we are, this is how we understand it, and this is how we want to be understood.
And it works. And you know, some clients are sometimes a bit like, oh, this is very different, but actually once they get into it, it's stress-free for them, because they know exactly what their charge is and exactly when it's going to come out of their bank account. It helps them plan, and it also helps them budget, because they can say, well, actually, I know this is coming out, or I know this is going to happen. Not just this sort of, oh, here's a surprise invoice for 5 weeks' work we didn't tell you about. That's we couldn't run a business like that, so we don't expect anybody else to.
Absolutely. Great bit of advice. And so, is there anything coming up that you want to share with the audience? Any big events you're having? I mean, anything?
Yeah, we just put on an event with Google, which was about using AdWords for retailers, which was a really it was our first event, so it was quite nerve-wracking. But we had some great support from our team at Google, and it went really well. We had some, 3 or 4 really good leads from it. We're at the kind of the proposal stage with those. So I think we're already decided that that's been a good use of our time. So we want to do another one of those in the new year.
Okay.
We're just, whether it be with Google or not, we're not quite sure yet. It depends on their timing. But
I think we're doing a workshop type thing in the new year to help people get their marketing sorted for the new year.
Okay.
So if people want to sign up to our newsletter on our website, then we'll be putting out the invites on that, and then seeing who wants to come and what they want to do. And
thanks for sharing, your experience and some of that great advice that you've just given. So hope you guys get something from it. Because there's always things to learn, always things to move on to. But most importantly, make sure that you keep moving forward and that you have enough cash flow. Thank you very much, Simon. It's been a pleasure. Ben, thank you very much. Until next time. Bye bye.